Welcome to another edition of the Meet the Producer segment here at Real Foods. Per usual, I'm Chris, in the web admin team. I'm here with Za today from Mara Seaweed.
Hi.
First off, welcome. Thanks for coming up and
Thank you for
getting out of the bed on the chilly morning that we have today. You're going to be in our stores this coming weekend. You'll be at Broughton Street. On the 21st, you're actually going to be over in Tollcross. If you could, you're going to be talking to us today briefly about your seaweed. Dig into it a bit for me. We always like to kind of start off first with a bit of history of the company. Could you tell me a little bit about Mara Seaweed? Where are you located? Why are you located there? How long?
We couldn't be a more local company.
All right.
We met in the playground down at the bottom of Broughton Street.
Oh.
Turn right. St Mary's playground. Me and my friend Fiona Houston, who is the co-founder, and we were discussing how children were disconnected from their environment, and we embarked on a project to try and connect a bunch of kids with wild edibles, and we wrote a book called Seaweed and Eat It.
Seaweed
and Eat It in 2008.
Okay.
And it was a wonderful project, and it really connected us with the seasons, with what food was out there, and about taste, because that was one of the criteria. We were picking food on the basis of taste.
Mm-hmm.
And we literally stumbled on seaweed. That was how it all began in 2008.
All right. Okay. Where are you located now?
We are now in Granton. We have grown our business very organically and slowly, but we've managed to get enough funding to move to Granton to a new production facility. We are harvesting our seaweed and bringing it into the factory in Granton, and it goes out in its fully finished form in a tin.
Okay. Regarding its fully finished form, what is it? I mean, obviously it's seaweed, but most people might be familiar with the kind of strips or nori flakes almost.
Yes.
What about Mara is unique, unusual perhaps, specific to your brand?
It is unique, and we worked very hard to produce the seaweed in a form that we thought people would be able to use, just as readily as salt or a spice from their cupboard. We work with Edinburgh chefs like Roy Brett and Mark Greenaway to help develop a sort of perfect salty ingredient which would add flavour and colour and depth of, more flavour into food.
So it's mostly used as an addition or an additive?
It is.
What would you add it to for those who may be just jumping in?
On a very basic level, on a boiled egg or something.
Okay.
Don't use salt on everything because we know it's going to fire up our arteries. I mean, use seaweed, which is going to bring in an incredible sort of array of nutrients and minerals that we all need. And most Western women are short of iodine, so there you have it.
So you can grind it up, and it looks to me
it's ground up already. It's in a dried ground form.
Okay.
So think ground pepper. It's a flake, or it's even
a
finer as a
garnish,
powder.
perhaps?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you sprinkle it on your egg, or you put it on top of your greens and roast them in the oven, or sprinkle them and stir them into your mashed potato or your swede. Yeah.
Now you do have several different varieties of seaweed.
We do.
Could you give me a couple of sentences on why there are different varieties of seaweed, why you chose the particular varieties that you did? Would you fill me in on the seaweed culture at Mara, if you could?
I mean, it is an ancient culture. We'd be lying if we said we invented it. I mean, it goes back for millennia, and even St Columba was, his monks were picking it and valuing it, and obviously cavemen, there's evidence that they ate it. But right through to the sort of 18th and 19th century, the crofters used it as crops that sustained them. They actually fertilised their soil with it.
Oh, okay.
They then burnt it as potash, and it earned them an income. But there's always been a tradition also of eating it on the East Coast. It's still eaten in certain places, sort of fishing communities.
Right.
And so we were harking back to the old tradition of eating an ancient food but we thought it was utterly contemporary in how you can use it and what it does for you.
Right, right. So you do have a couple of different varieties.
Yes.
What's different about the individual varieties? Okay. What are they for different purposes?
They are. So
garnishes?
One that people might recognise is kombu, and that is a name that's very well known in Asia. Kombu is the basis of dashi stock, which has this wonderful sort of well-rounded taste. So we have our version of, well, we call it kombu. It's actually a deep sea kelp, and it's highly mineralised. It is the most mineralised plant on earth. We use that as a stock basis.
Okay, so that's this kombu
that's the
here
green one.
that I'm
It's
seeing,
green,
right?
and it's if you walk down the beach, it's the leathery fronds that you see, like straps.
The stuff that scares you when it touches your foot when you're swimming.
Yes, quite often. So moving on, we've done a blend here, which we think is very user-friendly. It's got a red seaweed called dulse in it. It's got some, not this one, but it's got other kelps in.
Okay.
And then it's got some bright green sea lettuce. It's a wonderfully balanced seaweed that's a great garnish, and it's got a sweetness to it. There's then a purple seaweed called dulse, which I would say in flavour is not dissimilar to a sort of smoky, almost like a vegetarian version of, I'd say almost pork. I mean, it's got a bacony sort of quality.
Oh, wow.
So for people who are missing meat, it's the perfect one to use.
And one would imagine the texture.
The texture is, yes, on the beach it's quite gelatinous, but by the time we've dried it and ground it, it's a wonderful sort of dusky purple sort of flake,
exactly.
Which is a joy to use, and you can use it for sweet dishes as well as savoury. You know, we've had Paul Hollywood mix it into a crumble topping with oatmeal and honey and nuts and seeds.
Boy.
Or you can go savoury and you can roast it and add in nuts, seeds, soy sauce, ginger, lots of lovely flavours. Boy. It's a starting point.
That sounds fantastic, Zah. You're going to be at our Broughton Street store this coming Saturday in the afternoon. I believe it's somewhere around 2:30. You'll be doing kind of a tasting and a demo for everybody. And then you'll be over at our Toll Cross store on the 21st, kind of bookending Valentine's Day. So thanks for being flexible.
Can I add something? Valentine's Day, it is the perfect boost, let's say, to the crucial parts of men and women. It absolutely gets to the places nowhere else reaches.
That it needs to be?
Yeah, so I recommend everyone buys it.
That's fantastic. Zah, thank you so much for being here today.
Lovely to be here.
It was great meeting you.